So like I predicted, we did indeed get full Dragon Ball Super Chapter 62, I guess, full spoilers for the manga chapter translated. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that to you here on this video. And like I said in the title, it is complete spoilers for the entire manga chapter. So if you click the video on accident, maybe it's in a playlist or whatever, you don't want to hear these, you have a chance to click off now. I want to thank Dragon Ball Hype for posting these, as well as Andy for translating them. Andy's become a really impactful translator for us every month, and it means a lot that he's able to put this work in. So for the Dragon Ball Super manga review, which is going to be coming out tomorrow, because tomorrow's when the manga comes out officially, both in Japan as well as here in North America via the Shonen Jump app or Viz app, whichever one you want to use. I'll be doing a different kind of review. I won't be summarizing all the events. I'll be talking about like what I liked and didn't like, more of a traditional kind of review, because this video is going to be the full recap of what happens. And then of course I'll talk about a lot of stuff there as well, but you know, visualizing it is different than reading it. So let's get right into what happens here in Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 62. And again, just so you guys know, I'm very aware that this came out like hours ago, like 8 hours ago or 9 hours ago, but I didn't want to overload y'all sub boxes with stuff. I uploaded 3 videos yesterday, and it's very rare for me to ever do that. The last time I ever uploaded 3 videos in one day was when Dragon Ball Super was on the air. You know, it's been that long. So I just don't want to overload y'all sub boxes with content over and over again, even though I think some of y'all just really thirst for it. So if you're okay with me uploading, you know, 4 videos in a day, let me know in the comments. But it's something I do try to avoid because I have to spread things out a bit more, you know. Anyways, let's get right into it. So Andy translates the following for this manga summary. He writes, Moro confirms 7-3's ability was added to his previous ability. Makes sense. Out of desperation, Vegeta attacks Moro. Gohan lets him know that 7-3's ability was only for 30 minutes and should disappear after that, but Moro states that it's not the case, as the power returned the original power, which is not influenced by any time limit. So what he's basically saying is that because Moro absorbs 7-3, there's no time limit anymore. That's essentially what he's saying, just as simple as possible. Moro appears behind Vegeta, touches his neck, I'm not going to say it, and gets his ability. With Goku not knowing about 7-3's ability, Gohan explains it to his father. Meanwhile, Vegeta, that's true, Goku did know about that, that's a good point. Vegeta, meanwhile, receives many hits. Moro even uses the Saiyan's Big Bang attack. As Vegeta ends up lying on the ground in his base form, Moro says, for a normal Ki Blast, he uses such an exaggerated name, which is true. All of Vegeta's moves have these really awesome names, which are said in English, by the way, despite this being a Japanese manga. You know, Toriyama did that on purpose when he first came up with these moves back in the day, which is why you have the Gallic Gun, which is Gallic Hole. You've got the Final Flash and the Big Bang attack. He says it in English, you know, Fainaru Flash, you know, with that kind of romanized English. Because that's just how Vegeta does his moves. You know, it's just something to make Vegeta unique from other characters. So he says here that, and it's funny because now that Moro absorbed Vegeta's power, would that imply that he has spirit separation? Right? That would be part of it, right? Piccolo explains to Goku that Moro should now also be able to use Vegeta's 4 spirit separation techniques. See, I guessed it, and there it is. I'm reading this for the first time. Obviously. Therefore, fusion techniques like Potara and Dance Fusion cannot be used. So, I know a lot of you guys are hoping, or were hoping for Gogeta or Vegito, and I had a feeling that wouldn't happen in this arc because we just saw Gogeta in Dragon Ball Super Broly, which is the story that takes place before this one. So, that should not surprise you if you're following kind of how they do things in the Dragon Ball sort of sphere. And I was telling y'all that I didn't think we were gonna get Gogeta that soon, like it's too soon. But now with this power, it's almost like Toyotaro's using Piccolo to tell us, the audience, don't expect fusion, at least not fusion of that type. No Potara, no Dance Fusion. However, like I've been saying for the past month or two, they could still have a thing where Majin Buu shows up and maybe he absorbs Goku and Vegeta. We'll see. Again, that's down the road. We're not there yet. So moving on to the next portion. Meanwhile, on the lookout, Dende decides to go down and recover the energy of his friends. He cannot just do nothing, as his position as the Earth's guardian he leaves by saying, Esca Popo, I leave this place to you. Popo says, God, be cautious, because remember, Dende is now Kami. He is the god of Earth. Down on Earth, Kuririn, he writes Kuririn, which is the Japanese way of saying Krillin, so I'm cool with that. Slowly moves towards the battlefield, regretting not having given Goku the Senzus earlier when they met. So that means that we have Senzus coming. We have Senzu beans that could be used. So I'll be honest with you guys. I feel like showing... I mean, okay, let me take that back. I'm sorry. That does not mean that Krillin has Senzus. He just regrets not giving them to Goku. So we don't know if he has more. Because I was going to say, if they show that early in the manga, it kind of takes away from all the violent stuff that happens later, which I talked about in previous 2 videos about this, you know, how violent this manga is and just how, you know, how bloody it is. It's one of the bloodiest episodes or chapters of the Dragon Ball Super manga that we've had, you know. So the fight goes on. Piccolo and Gohan attack Moro together, which, by the way, I know a lot of you guys love it, and I do too. I like violence in my Dragon Ball. It's not necessary, but it makes everything more powerful. Anyways, moving on, my bad. So the fight goes on. Piccolo and Gohan attack Moro together while the Namekian's stretching his arms, holding Moro's legs. Okay, so I guess Piccolo's using the stretchy move. In a moment of distraction, Gohan creates something like a galactic donut, squeezing one arm of Moro to his upper body. Piccolo screams, "Goku now!" So it looks like a kind of a reverse of like what they did against Raditz, right? Like a different version of it with the whole grabbing the guy and then, you know, somebody else does a move. Goku appears firing a Kamehameha towards Moro, who loses an arm. As he inherited Piccolo's regeneration ability from 7-3, Moro quickly regrows his arm and stabs it through Goku's chest. That is crazy. So that explains how he's able to just gut Goku and gore him through the chest. It was a regenerated arm. So we're dealing with a villain right now, folks, who could steal your powers and who can regenerate. This is a serious problem. This is a serious, like, not based on power, based on hacks. This is going to be a guy who, boy, I'm wondering what they're going to do to beat this guy. I'm very, very curious. I'm very curious. Goku slowly loses consciousness and goes to the ground. Out of anger, Gohan attacks but has no chance. So Moro is just shown to be dominating everybody at this point. Dende informs Piccolo via his telepathic ability that he is coming to heal them. Piccolo notices that Moro can hear it as well. Of course, the Namekian hearing, they can hear things better than regular mortals can, like non-Namekians. And urges Dende not to come. As Moro understood the situation, he creates a barrier around the battlefield, making it impossible for both Dende and Kuririn to enter. So that's great. So this is great. So he creates a barrier, like an invisible force field, to where they can't even come in to heal, dude. That they are really stacking the deck, and I enjoy that. Moro pushes Piccolo and Jaco back, and the androids 17 and 18 try attacking from behind, only to be shot down by Moro. Piccolo apologizes to Jaco for getting involved in the Earth's battle, but Jaco says that Moro escaped was the issue of the Galactic Patrol, and the Earth is a part of his sector. So sharing the fate of the planet, would be part of his job. Piccolo is glad that Jaco sees it that way as he tries to blow himself up with the whole area. But then Piccolo suddenly gets shot down by a special beam cannon from Moro. By the way, I find it funny that Andy wrote Kuririn. He's using the Japanese name for Krillin, but he's writing special beam cannon and not Makanko Sapo. I find that funny how he's just picking and choosing. And that's one thing I'll tell you, is that's just how it is in the fandom. Because of the different translations and dubs and all that, it's okay to alternate words. I do it all the time in videos because I have audiences that watch me that are both sub-elitist, dub nostalgia guys, or most of you guys just regular Dragon Ball fans who know the moves. Like, y'all know what each move means. But I'm always here to kind of make everybody happy, or try to. Plus, we're going to have some newer subscribers who don't even know what these Japanese moves are, and they might find the Japanese names cool. But anyways, it doesn't matter. So Piccolo gets shot down by a Makanko Sapo. Moro says to Jaco, "Now it's only you left, Galactic Patrol." Which is true. He is the last one left, which I find funny. As Dende desperately tries to enter the barrier, suddenly a hole opens up and he can enter. He looks back and sees an angel. "It's not over yet, God of Earth." Dende says, "You are." Meanwhile, Moro approaches Jaco, but says that he doesn't have any interest in his life energy as it is too weak anyways, so it's not necessary to keep him alive. Basically, he's not going to eat Jaco, he just wants to kill him. He doesn't want to even take his powers, he just wants to kill him and take him out. Very heelish thing to do here. I'm alright with it. Jaco desperately shoots with his gun towards Moro. As suddenly a second shot appears hitting Moro, it was Merus in his Galactic Patrol clothes. Moro says, aren't you a Galactic Patrol? And that's pretty much the cliffhanger. So it's just funny how, I guess what's happening here, guys, is that Merus is hiding his identity from Jaco. I don't think Jaco is even aware that Merus is actually secretly an angel. And I think, for all we know, he might be hiding it from somebody else, like, Beerus or the Grand Priest, even though they're going to be able to tell. They know, bro. We're talking about high-level gods here. But, like I expected, and I know a lot of folks didn't, I don't know how y'all don't know this by now, but this whole chapter is going to be Moro just destroying people. Like, he has a new form, and what happens in Dragon Ball when a character has a new form? 9 times out of 10, if it's a villain, he's going to just run roughshod over everybody, and that's what this whole chapter is him just dominating over dudes. So, really, it shouldn't be a surprise, and the tide will not turn yet because Toyotaro, to his credit, has to tell a story where we have good things and bad things happening, and it kind of has, that drama where it goes up and down, and then we have a conclusion. So the story's not over yet, and I'm intrigued as far as what this will mean for Merus, what the cost of this will be. Will Merus die? Are we going to find out more about Merus and his backstory? Like, there's a lot of questions I have going into next month. So I feel like Toyotaro did do a good job of keeping me at least interested as far as where the story's going to go. I'm not going to rant about it because all of this is pretty expected, and it's not something that I think is worth ranting about because I don't think it's that bad yet. Now, if they mistreat this arc and they mistreat what they do with Merus and it's written poorly, then I will rant about it. But until then, I'm keeping my eyes peeled to see where the story goes. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and look forward to reading y'all's comments. And tomorrow on the channel, I will have my full thoughts with illustrations from the manga of Chapter 62. Take care of yourself and each other.